Today is Saturday, August 27th, 2022. It is also day 404 of web development. And today I followed this tutorial by Spline themselves on how to make this. And so now I'm going to incorporate this 3D Spline model into a landing page that I'm going to make in CodePen. So the first thing is doc type HTML to let your browser know that you're writing in HTML5. And then the second thing would be your HTML tags. And then your HTML tag is where you're going to write your HTML. So HTML consists of two main tags, head and the body. And it's easy to remember because you can think of, your own self, like the head and the body. That's what you're made of. So HTML is also made of that. Again, the head is anything that's like kind of like backend information, not necessarily information you're going to see on the screen or any designs you're going to see on the screen, but kind of just like backend information, just like your brain is, like your head, like your own head is. It's just like back end information that nobody's going to see. Whereas the body is where everything that you're going to see on the screen is going to be inside the body tag. So similarly to yourself, like people can see what's like on your body, like your clothes, the clothes that you're wearing and whatnot, but nobody can actually see what's on the head. Only you know what's on, like what's inside the head tags. So in the body, I'm going to do a div and I'm going to give it a class container. And then in CSS, I'm going to target the container by using a dot because that's how we target classes. And then I'm going to give it a CSS rule. So CSS rule is made up of two things, a property, which is in purple, in this case in CodePen, and then values. And so it would be 5 pixels, solid lined, and then like black border. All right, and that's going to give me 5 pixels, solid lined, black border. All right, and then I might want to give it like a height, so 100 VH, which is vertical height of the screen. And then I would want to get rid of any margin that there is because currently I see some spacing surrounding the container. So to get rid of that, I'll just zero it out. I'll do margin and then 0. And then I'll also do the same thing for padding. And then I'll do box sizing, border box. And that property or that rule is just going to help the page be more responsive to what you want to do. All right, let me just save that real quick. All right, and then the next thing would be to have my header and my showcase. So I'm going to do div class header. And then I'm going to do a div class showcase. So basically my page is going to contain a header and a showcase. So the header is going to contain the navigation bar and the logo. And then the showcase is going to contain the content, which is like, like heading, the title, whatever, and also the 3D model itself. All right, so inside the header, I'll do it real quick. I'll do div and I'll do an ID logo. And then I'll leave that there and then I'll do div class navbar. And then my navigation bar is going to contain a list of my links. And so in order to do that, I'm going to have to do an unordered list, which is a UL tag. And inside a list, there's always list items. There's an LI tag, and I want my LIs to be links that lead to nowhere. So that's like what the hashtag means. And then I'm just going to call it link for now. And I'm going to make sure that all of my links have a class of link so that instead of doing like navbar ULLI and then I could just do dot link and then have like CSS rules applied to that. So let me go ahead and add a few of those here. All right. And then the next thing, just to kind of give a visualization here, I'm going to give everything a border because that's what I always do. So I'll give the header a border. So that's what the header is looking like. And then I'll also give the nav bar, the UL, the content, the showcase. There's so many things to give borders to. So what's the next thing? The nav bar, the UL. It's mostly the nav bar UL. I could also do, let's see, the showcase. And then inside the showcase, let's start with that. So inside the showcase, there's going to be just two things, a div called content, which is going to hold the content, And then on the side, there's going to be a div class, and I'm going to just put it as model because it's going to hold my 3D model. I'm just going to go here to Spline, go to export, and just copy the embedded. I believe that I turned off the pan and the zoom, and I updated it, and then it also shows up with the background color. So I'm just going to copy this embedded and then go back to my code pen and paste that inside the model div, and I'll be able to see a little bit of it um, like this. Oh my god. All right. Well, that's weird. So let's see. Okay, so back to, did I do the content? Okay, so the content is going to consist of an H1, which is a heading. I'm going to call it heading for now. It's going to consist of a paragraph. Um, and then it's going to, let's say, consist of a like input where someone can put their email in. So I'll do form, and like I'll do let's see, what would I do? An input type email, because it's going to be an email input, and then the placeholder, so it's going to be inside, is going to just say email. All right, so that's that. And then finally, I'm going to do a div class. I'm going to have two buttons. So I'm going to do a div of buttons, and then within that div, I'm going to have two buttons, right? So they both lead to nowhere, and they're going to be called buttons for now. All right, I'm just going to copy that and paste it. And I'm also going to give it the class of link because they are links. So I'm going to do class link, but I'm also going to give them their individual IDs because I'm going to target them individually later on. All right, and that's it for my HTML. Moving on to the CSS. So in this case, I always start with the header. So I'm just going to, let's see, which color? I'm gonna take this color over here. I think I did blue yesterday though. Whatever. So this color over here, I'm just going to copy that color and just paste that as the background for the header. Oops, let me do that again. All right. Okay, and then, oh, did I forget the logo? The logo should be an H1. Right, I did forget the logo. So let me do an H1, call it logo. All right, and then I want the logo and the navigation bar to be in the same row next to each other. So I'll just give the header a display of Flex to make it a Flex container. And then all of the items within the Flex container are going to be Flex items, meaning they have to follow the Flex rules. And if I say display Flex, then by default, the Flex direction is set to row, meaning that all of the Flex items are going to be in the same row. Versus if I did column, then they would go back to being on top of one another. But again, row is how it works, and by default though it is like that, so I don't have to actually write it. Now I would also do justify content. This is also a Flex property, so can only do it if it's a Flex container. And justify content is going to just put space, well, for me specifically for this one, I'm going to do justify content space between. It's going to put space between the Flex items, and again the Flex items are the logo and the navigation bar. All right, and then I don't want my Flex items to be all the way towards the edge, and so I kind of want some spacing, and so what I'll do is I'll go to the header and give it a padding of 0 pixels from the top and bottom, but then maybe 50 pixels left and right, which I'm going to adjust a little bit later, but that's the point. That's good for now. And then for the navigation bar itself, I see I could probably change this a bit. All right, so the navigation bar itself, I see the nav bar is a black box, and then the yellow box is the unordered list. Um, so the way I'm going to fix this is because I see that all the links are on top of each other, and I don't want that. So again, I'm going to see, okay, where are all my links? Well, my links are actually inside the UL. So I have to target the unordered list, and I have to make that a display of Flex. And again, by default, Flex direction is set to row. So all of the Flex items, which in this case are the links now, are going to be in the same row. And then I can do gap and then do 2EM, which I believe is equivalent to 32 pixels. And that's going to put some spacing in between. And again, that's only a Flex property, so it can only be used if you have a container that's display flex. Now to get rid of the bullet points, that's a list item property. So I'll do navbar ULLI, and I'll just use the list style property and set that to none, and that should remove the bullet points. And then to get rid of the underline, that's a tag property. So and I can do text decoration none, because currently it's set to underline, and that removes the underline. Now notice, I did do this, or I could have done this, because again, remember that I gave all of the links a class of link. And so now any elements that have a class of link are going to have to have, are gonna, what am I saying? Are gonna have to follow this CSS rule. All right, and then the color of the text itself is also an a tag property, but I believe I'm going to leave it as the color that it is now and just give it a background of maybe something like that. Give it a padding of 10 pixels top and bottom, 20 pixels left and right. All right, and then the color, leave it as black. All right, and then I'm going to go to Google Fonts, and I'm going to get a font for it. I always use Lato. Wrong site. Where am I going right now? All right, so just search up Lato, add the regular 400, and I also do Roboto Slab, by the way. So I'm going to copy this link over here, and I'm just going to paste that inside the head tag. So this is a use case for the head tag. So I always say this in every video, but like, you know how your English teachers always wanted to know where you got this information or like this certain information from, like in your essays, and then they're looking for like where you got it from, and you had to cite your sources, right? Same thing. Like CSS is looking for where you got the font from that you're using, and it's looking for where you got it from. And so it knows that you got it from Google Fonts because you're citing it in the head tag. All right, and so this is the actual rule that I'm using. All right, so I'm going to paste that over here inside the link, and then you'll be able to see that the font changes for all of the links. All right, so that's what I'm looking at so far. All right, let me go to the header and give it a height of 80, let's say 80 pixels. Save that. Did I do something? Oh, yeah. Save. There we go. All right, so that's what it's looking like so far. Um, yeah. And then the other problem is that the links are at the top. And so the way to fix that, to get it towards the center, is, if I know that the links are inside the yellow box, then I have to make the black box a display flex so that the black box becomes a flex container and everything inside it becomes a flex item. And so it's going to have to follow the rules. So the yellow box is the UL, and so the nav bar is what I have to make the flex container by setting the display flex, and then doing align items center, and that should move it downwards towards the center. Beautiful. All right, so that's it for that. For the logo, I also have to do the same thing, because if I look at the logo, let me target it. So a hashtag for an ID. Um, whoops. If I give it a border of 5 pixels, let's say white solid, I'll be able to see that the logo is at the top, and I want it to be at the center. So I could just really quickly give it a display flex and then do align items center, because align items again centers things vertically, while justify content does it horizontally. It doesn't just necessarily center, but whatever you put in here, it's going to do it vertically, and again, justify content horizontally. All right, so that's what's nav, the, what do you call it? Not the nav bar, the header's looking like. I probably should give it a font size of, not the logo itself, but the logo's H1. I should give it a font size of, I don't know, 3 vertical minimum. So, nope, that's too small. All right, save that. Sure. All right, and then, I mean, no, I don't like that. Let me save that. All right, and then one more thing. I'll use the Roboto Slab font and add that here for the logo. All right, and then moving on to the showcase. So the showcase is made up of two things: the content, which I didn't give a border to, so that's great. Let me do that. Oh, I didn't do the model either. So that's the content and the, what do you call it? The model. All right. And I'll just give these like red and blue. All right, so we have our red and blue boxes. They are inside our showcase, which I'm going to make, I don't know, a purple box. All right, so the red and blue are inside the purple box. So I want them to be next to each other. And by now, right, we know that in order to do that, I have to look at what container they're in. And I know that they're in the showcase. So I have to make the showcase a flex container. And when I say, display flex, again, flex direction by default, it's set to row, so it moves all of the flex items, which are just any elements that are inside the showcase, this being the content and the model divs, to be in the same row. Now, I could also just make sure that I can give the showcase a certain height, maybe width 100% and height 100%. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the container and I'm going to give that, oh, it does have a height. Oh no, let me do min content so that it's always reaching down. And then I'll go and give these, the showcase actually a width and a height if I could find it. So maybe I'll do height 100 VH and then this one WH. All right, so that's what I'm looking like. That's what I'm looking at so far. All right. So I would also go within the content and just give that a width of 50%. And then do the same thing for the model. All right. So now they're 50%, 50%. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the showcase and give it a background of that same color that I have used here, which is this one up here. It is DBE0EE. There we go. And so that's good. And then let's see. I could work on the content now, so which is the red box. So I'll just give that a display of flex so everything is in the middle. But again, here's the problem. When giving a display of flex, by default, flex direction is set to row, and it's going to make all of the items within the content be in the same row. And I don't want that for this case, so I'll have to overwrite that and set the flex direction to column so that they're on top of one another, just like blocks, like being on top of one another in a column, right? And then what I would do is I would do align item center to get that towards the center. All right, actually justify content. All right, and then at that point, I'm just going to go within each individual element. So let me make some space. So for example, the dot content H1, I'm going to give it a margin bottom of 20 pixels so that there's space between the heading and the paragraph. I'll do this literally for everything inside. What did I just do? All right. So that would include the content paragraph, the content. Well, in this case, there's already a div called buttons. There's also the input itself, which is an actual tag. So I'm not gonna use dots or anything else. All right, I could give the input a width of 100%. All right, and that just right moves the input to fill 100% of its container, which in this case is the red box, which is the content box. And then let me try to figure out like a concept. So I think the logo, I want it to maybe just be something like thoughts, and it could be where, let me think. It could be, what could it be? Oh, look, so cute. All right, this site could be like, I don't know, I don't even know. Find out interesting things? I don't know. What would be the heading? Let me think. All right, so I think what I'm gonna go for is probably just having like this landing page be maybe about like a site that is mainly focused on thoughts, like and people can anonymously, um, like I forgot how to pronounce that, anonymously just put their thoughts out there and just submit their thoughts. So I think I just don't know what catch line to use or which catchphrase. Um, let your thoughts free, set your thoughts free, or let your thoughts go. Write your thoughts. All right, maybe like, are you lonely? You don't have anyone to share anything with? I don't know. You want to share your thoughts. Or maybe just like share your thoughts, nice and simple, period. Share your thoughts, and then I think I'm going to get rid of the paragraph and I'll go to this CSS and get rid of that paragraph also. And then I'll just make sure that I'm using the font family. Where is it? It should be in the logo. Right here. Oh no, the logo H1. Put that in here for the H1. And then I might as well just put it in there for the input as well. Actually, for the input, so now when I type, it's gonna be that font. And then not only that, but I want the placeholder to also have that font. So to target the placeholder, I'll do input and then two colons and then placeholder. That's how you would target any HTML attributes. And then I'll just paste that in there. Yeah, sure. All right, and then I'll give the input some padding, maybe like 10 pixels. All right, and then what should I do? So now it's just like that. And then instead of email, because now I'm not going to do an email, I'm going to go back to my HTML. Where even is it? I think I don't even need, I think I could just leave it there. And instead of email, I'll just do write your thought here. Write your thought here. That's not how you spell thought. All right, and then share your thoughts and then the button. So I think maybe if I were to just reload, I kind of don't want it to be like that. So I'm just trying to think what is a better way to do this. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think what's a better way to do this. I can just make it just like I did the model and I put like the model on top of the iframe. I could do the same thing for the content. So I can do like a div class and then do content container and then have that contain the content so that I could actually give the content some height and width. There we go. So now I would actually have to do the same thing for the content container. Well, actually, I could just do this content container, right? Now it's a little bit better. And then for the content itself, I'm going to give it a border of 5 pixels, let's say brown solid. And then I can give it like a set width and height. So I can give it like a width of 50%. And so it's going to be like that. And then I can go and give I can now do align item center to have that in the center. Right? Beautiful. And then definitely go to the H1 and give that a font size of 10 vertical minimum and just see what that gives me. All right, I could definitely go to the container itself. I could do a certain width, so I could do width min content as well. Oops, nope, not that container. I meant the other container, the content container. Oh no, the content. Oh, hold up. Put it below that. There we go. So, I mean, that works. And then, you know what? I don't need this. I could just have it be like that and then give the H1 a certain width that it's going to have to follow. And that could be like 400 pixels. Or not. How about 800 pixels? I don't know if I like that. Share your thoughts. I guess it's okay. And then if that's the case, I could definitely make this a little bit prettier because it's not it right now. I don't know if I don't know how I want to do it. All right, I think I'm gonna leave it like that, but then for the buttons, I'm gonna go to HTML and just change what they say. So the first one might be like explore thoughts, and then this one is submit thoughts, or it could just be submit. And then what I'll do is, let me just see that. I'll go to the buttons and give that a border so I could actually see what I'm working with. So that's over here. Reload. Okay. So I'm going to give this a display of flex, and that should put things in perspective, right? Inside those. And then I'll go to the buttons themselves, which is hashtag BTN 1, and then I believe hashtag BTN 2, and then just give them a width of 50%, both of them. All right, we reload. There we go. And then give them a gap of maybe 2 EM. All right, beautiful. And then text align center so that they are, the text is in the center. All right, so that works also. And then definitely give it a background. So, well, only one of them is going to have a background. So hashtag BTN2, which let me see. I know that one of them, BTN2 is the submit button. So that's going to have a background. And that's going to be the same background as the header here at the top. If I could just get that color again, paste that in there. All right, so that's the background. Oh, that's not the color. Hold up. It's this color over here. What's that color? Let me scroll down. This one. All right, now delete that. Paste that in there. All right, beautiful. And then I'll change the color of the text to be white. And then I also need to make sure, actually, no, that's good. And then for this one, the border one, I'll have the BTN one have a border instead of like, let's say 2 pixels solid and then that color and then have no background, right? And then I could do 3 pixels. But then when it's hovered over, so BTN one, when it's hovered over, then the border can just get a little bit um thicker, so maybe like 5 pixels, right? Something like that. Um, or 4. All right, save that, reload. All right, so that's what I'm looking at. And then when BTN2 is hovered over, then I can change the background to be a darker shade of that color, which I could just get by going to colors, palette generator, and let me see, trying to get this color over here, pasting that in there, and just taking the shader and then taking like 2 or 3 shades darker, copy that, go back to CodePen, and just paste that in there. Oh, that was the wrong one. I meant over here. What is going on? Why did he do that? What? All right, there we go. Took me a second. All right, and then also for the buttons, I would like for them to have a certain font size of maybe 2 vertical minimum. And if that doesn't work, then we could do 3. All right, run that. All right, I don't know, maybe 2 would have been better. I don't know, I feel like that's too small. All right, and then the thing itself, I would want it to be a little higher. So I'll go to the what's it called, the content, and I'll give it a position relative, but it should be relative to its content container. And then from the top, maybe 50 pixels. Now I don't know why it's okay, no, negative 50. But why is it reaching now towards relative to the content container? Maybe this isn't the best thing, and instead of doing that, I could just do padding. Let's see, I could do padding not within the content, but I could do content container and then do padding from the top. So to bring it downwards, so negative 100 pixels. Nope. Okay, that's great. Let's see what could work. Let me try to see. Well, first of all, let me go to the purple box, which is a showcase, and set that to have a flex wrap so that the elements wrap around each other when they get too small. So, okay. And if that doesn't work, then I'll have to go and change the content container to have a flex spaces of 1000. And then also the model, which I'm just going to bring up here under the content. All right, if I do this, oh, let me see what's gonna work now. So flex spaces 1000. Oh, there we go. I forgot to add the pixels. All right, but I only want that to happen when the screen reaches like 800. So media query max width. So when the screen reaches like 800 pixels, then do the following. So change the content container to have a flex spaces of 1000 and do the same thing for the dot model. And then get rid of that over here, get rid of that here, and run that. All right, now when it does that and it reaches 800, then it does that. But then I need it to be, let's see, I need that to happen way earlier than that because it's happening way earlier than that. And I'm not sure why this is going like outside of the div, the content. So it is the minimum content. Or maybe instead of doing that, I can do maybe the max width that it could be is the minimum content. Or it could be 100% of its container. Reload and do that, and then do that. So that would be an issue. I could though, let's see, what could I do? I could have it where the paragraph, where is the content H1? Over here. So it has a width of 800 pixels, so that's why it's doing that. So maybe instead of a width of 800 pixels, let's do 600. All right, and then do something like that. Share your thoughts, and then that works well. That way now it's like fairly responsive. I could have it be where, I don't know, what, let's do 400. Reload that. Oh, no, that's horrible. 600 pixels. I could just give it a border because I'm just guessing at this point. Let me give this border so I can see what's going on. And then when it does this, it still does that. So instead of doing that, I could do um, a width of min content and then have it have a padding of like left and right. So top and bottom 0 pixels, but left and right maybe like, or maybe just padding from the left like 40 pixels. Oops, I meant the right. All right, and then that's min content. So I could do like 400 pixels, see what that looks like. So let me try to see. So if that would be 300, I'm just literally playing around with the values until I get something that would be good. Um, so 300 pixels or 200. I'm trying to see what would cause it to, huh, padding right. Okay, if I get rid of this padding here and reload. Okay, so I think what I need to do is to just increase the padding, I think, right? So, I just have to find where in the world I did that. Like, did I do it for the H1 or for the content container? Or was it the H1? Let's do padding, 900 pixels. Well, not 900 pixels, padding towards the right. But then it still doesn't, either way, it's still extending the box, which just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. All right, I'm trying to think, how would I get the share your thoughts again? I would need to give it a width, and I can't do a padding because that's not working. So then, all right, so I'm gonna try to just remove the width. I don't even know. Maybe, okay, 500 pixels. Or I could do maybe 4 WH. That could work. There we go. Share your thoughts would be a good thing. I don't know if this is too big though. So share your thoughts, and then I would want it to be in the middle. Um, I could do 2, have that still be there. Or I could do like the minimum width that it could be would be that. Or I could do max width. It's literally not even changing anything. All right, so I could do let's say, what if I did like 100 WH? Literally nothing changes. Um I don't even know. If I just get rid of this in the first place, nothing changes also. It's like I didn't have anything there in the first place. So maybe what I'll do, if the if I go back to the content, let me pull this up over here. So I have the content container, and then I have the content itself, which has a max width of 100%. And then um, I have the content H1, which doesn't even have a width or height. So that's interesting. I could do, I could have it where it's margin, or maybe, no, yeah, margin 50 pixels. That's at the center, like that. And then that works out that way. And then I'm just not sure if I want to have it like go upwards. While I'm just thinking of that, let me go to the HTML and change the links. So this one could say like home, um, thoughts. Oh my God, wait. Write your thought here. Your thought bubble. Share your thoughts. Write your thought bubble here. Oh my God, I think I got it. Write your thought bubble here. Enter your thought bubble. Enter your thought in a bubble. Oh my God, and then the like the bubbles can have like the thoughts inside if I were to ever do that. But like um so enter your thought bubble here. Share your thoughts, enter your thought bubble here. See, it makes sense for the little bubbles. All right, and then let me go back to the links. So let's see, like bubbles. And then I could do maybe con, and then the last one could be I don't know, the cloud. I don't know. Maybe I'll just get rid of one, because I don't really need it. So that works out that way. Um, so yeah, I do that. I think maybe because it's very like a chic type of design, I'm going to go to the CSS and just give the links a border. So they're like round. So I could give them a border radius of like 5 pixels or even like 10 um or 20. There we go, 20 pixels. And then I could do same thing there. And then I also noticed that the submit is really weird. So I'll go back down to that. And that should be BTN2. I'll just give it a display of flex and then align item center so that it's at the center. And then justify content center so it's at the center horizontally as well. And now that's fixed. I could do the same thing for BTN1, right? Have that be there. So that's pretty cool there. I can go ahead and reload that. And what I notice, let me see, if I were to just open this up and then do the following, okay, that's fine. Let me see. So that's what that is. I could also do the same thing for the input. Just give it a border radius of 20 pixels. And then say not in a bubble. So submit, export thoughts, and then home bubbles contact. And then what I might do, I'm just gonna try to experiment with the header. If I just change it to have a background of white, how would that look like? No, I'm good with the other background. So I'll save that and then I could just get a darker shade of um what do you call it? Of the D3 color. Or no, of the EE color. So I could do EE 6 times and then get the shader and just do few colors downwards. Or you know what, I could even do like one of the colors for that I used in Spline. I think I closed it. Oh my god, I did. Hold on. Alright, so that would be like one of these colors, just kind of like an off-white. So we'll scroll down, get that color, and let's see. I can either make that the color of the background, if I could ever find my code. Not the background, but yeah, the background for the links. So I could change that there. Save that, reload. No, that doesn't make sense. So I'll do white, and then when I do dot link hover, so when the links are hovered, I could change the background to be this color here, which would make more sense. Right? Run that, and then reload, and then I should see that happening as I hover over it. All right, and then I'm not sure if I want this to be bigger, so is there any way to go back to Spline and export? And then let's see, I could do zoom, right? I could update and then copy this link and see what the difference that makes. So let me go up in here to the model and just change the iframe. So now let's see what's the difference. I can zoom in now, but I can't move it, which is perfect. That's what I wanted. So I want to be able to zoom in, but I don't want to be able to like move it off from its fixed position. Um, so that's good. Let me just reload. All right, and then I think that's good. I'm gonna go and just get rid of all of the borders now and see what that looks like. All right, and this is the final result. All right, and then actually not the final result because I'm going to do a little bit of tweaking. I might want this to just be a little bit more upwards. Um, so I'll probably do that and then might want to move this a little bit more to the right, more of the navigation bar to the left, and then definitely change the color to be white. So I'll start with the color of the logo. So I'll do logo and then just give it a color. Well, first of all, not the logo, but the logo H1, give that a color of white. Right, so that works so much better. And definitely move this towards the top. So that is the content itself, which is this over here. So I'm going to give that a border again, just so I could see that in reference to everything. So I could give that a position relative, and then from the top, negative 50 pixels, something like that, and then reload. And I feel like that would be much better. But then if I have it like this, it's okay, I guess. Um, I guess that's okay. And then what else did I want to do? Definitely move the logo. So that would kind of be the header. So the header would be, let's see, um, where am I doing? Okay. So from the left, I want to increase the padding. So I'll do like, no, I don't know. It should be good when it's like this, but like not when it's over here. So this should be a little bit like that. That's too much though. Do 80. I don't know. Let me get rid of that border again. Of our content, save that and see what that gives me. All right, so I mean, I'm not even sure if I want to keep it that way or if I want it to be centered. So what I'll do is I'm also going to, where's my code? Okay, I'm gonna go to the content and give it from the left, maybe 50 pixels also. All right, so it does that. All right, and then that works out. And then I could do the logo and not the logo, the header, because I'm having the padding here in the header, and just make that or 100 and just play around and tweak the value until it aligns with the share. Reload that. All right, I think that's okay. And then the last thing would be like the navigation bar to move it towards the left. So that would end up being padding right and maybe 100 pixels. All right, reload that. Maybe even more than that, like 150 pixels. And if I want to keep it 100 pixels at the view that I have it now, I could just go to the media query, which is right over here, and just change the, let's say, the header to have that 100 pixel right padding. So it goes back to its original thing. Oops. Let me see. So that would end up being 90 pixels. Is it not changing now? Okay, it's not changing, so I guess we'll figure that out later. But yeah, so far that's what it's looking like. I could definitely do a little bit more towards the left, so I'll go back to the header and do that. So padding right maybe 70, do that. Sure. And then share your thoughts, enter your thought bubble here, explore thoughts, submit. Um, all right, I think this is okay. Um, so contact home, and then this is what I'm getting over here. Should probably do like maybe 900 pixels for the media query instead. So reload that, and so I'm not gonna get too much. There we go. And then this is okay, I guess. Share your thoughts, and then maybe um I could do in the media query, I can do doc content H1 and have that be aligned at the center instead. So that works out that way. All right, share your thoughts. And for some reason, there's no padding. Oh, because okay, hold up. And then have it have a padding, the contents itself, not well, yeah, the content, and have a padding from the right of 50 pixels. Reload that, and it should, right, be nicer, just like that. So that works out. And then definitely for the header, I would have to move that. So let me go back to the header here in the media query and just kind of zero out, just have it back to how it was. So padding 0 pixels, 50 pixels. And then if I were to do that in this case, now it would be back to normal. And I would have my little thing here. And then for the showcase, I wouldn't want to have any gap because I want um the what do you call it, the model to be as to the top as it can be. So that works out that way. And then let's see. So that works. And then I could definitely give these a gap. So that would actually be, I think, the header gap, maybe 1 EM. Right? So then when I do that over here, it's going to have space, right? All at all times, it's not going to overlap because it's going to be a gap. So that's perfect. Um, so yeah, and then I don't know. So share your thoughts. Maybe it should be like that from the beginning, or maybe text align center. Let me try to see if that would be the case. If I were to just do that here, let's see how it would look like. I don't know if that looks better. Share your thoughts. Does that look better? I don't know. I mean, it kind of aligns, maybe? I'm not sure. Let me get rid of it. I think this aligns better. And then the thought bubble, the bubble could be not, it's not a bubble, but the thought input could be bigger. So I could just go to the input and give that a height of 40 pixels, 50. All right, something like that. And then give the input placeholder a font size of 3 vertical minimum, or maybe that's too big. 2 would be good, maybe. Right, enter your thought bubble here, so that's good. But then now that that happens, then the font size for the input. I thought that I did it already. Let me do it again. Have that be the same thing. Beautiful. And then give it a padding also. I thought I did this already. 20 pixels. There we go. All right, so that works out that way. Um, yep, share your thoughts. This is aligned, the navigation bar is aligned. I have this, and then if I do this, it's responsive, which is really, really cool. And I think what I'll do, right, even like this. Oh, like this is the part where it's kind of like, like at this point, maybe when it's like less than, let me do Control Shift I to get that specific width. So if I just do this, that's like 1,000. Like it's okay for it to be, I don't know, maybe just after, what would be the max width? 1080? So maybe like after 1,000, so media, when the max width is 1,000 pixels, then the header will have, let's say, padding from the right of just 50 pixels of like how they had it in the front. But I don't know why that's not working. 1,000 pixels. That's just so weird. So I just don't want that. I mean, I feel like at this point, oh, okay. So I just have to increase that. So 1,500 maybe. So when oh, there we go. Perfect. I fixed it. Yay. All right, now I believe it's like fully responsive. And then I say that now, like on the desktop is fully responsive, but in order for it to be responsive on the mobile phone and not have the desktop version show up in your phone, I have to put in a meta tag inside the head tag, and then I have to target the content of the viewport and set the contents width to be equal to the width of the device that the whoever is on the site is using. So device width, and then have that be an initial scale of 1.0. All right, and run that. And then I'm gonna try to open it on my phone right now and see what that looks like. Oh my God, it looks so bad over here. Oh, you know what? I need to fix the padding at the top. So like when that happens, like the tab, why is this even on? Whoops, hello. All right, when that happens, I need the padding. Actually, it's okay for now. Like this is okay. Because I don't know why it's not. I feel like this is kind of like the mobile version. Maybe if I use Control Shift I to get developer tools, and then I'm able to see, let's see, but this is what it looks like on the phone. It is so annoying. Like, it's so annoying. So I feel like this is the maximum width here until it starts getting weird. All right, so this is what it's looking like if I'm on the iPhone 12. So I'm gonna trying to have that like as responsive as I can. I don't know why this happens, honestly. I just don't know why. Like it's so weird. So I'll do another media query at the bottom. And I'll just do media max width, and then let me see. The max width for this one specifically is 390. So 390 pixels. So once it reaches 390 pixels, then I'm gonna have to like revamp everything because this one doesn't even, whatever. So I'll just kind of use this to the left and then move this to the right. All right, and then why is this way? Hello? Is this thing okay? How do I get rid of this? Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to do it this way. Why does it keep doing this? I don't want to see the view. Let's see. Um, Bottom, have that there. Oh, it's because I did that with Replit. That's why I was like, why can't I do that? All right, whatever. So for CSS, let's see. I'll just do Control Plus. All right. It's so bad. Oh my God. Um, so I don't even know. So when the max width hits 390 pixels, then let's say the width of the header is the first thing we could start with, and that could be 100 WH, and then save this, reload that. Nope, same thing. How about I do, let's say 1,000 pixels. Okay, that's horrible. Um, 100% never works for some reason. 150%. Okay, that works. 130. All right, 120. Okay, so definitely 130 or 125 could work. All right, there we go. And then let's see. The logo, which is actually an ID. So logo H1 could have a font size of 3 vertical minimum of the screen. Let me save that, reload there. Oh, that's horrible. Let's do 10, or maybe that's too much. That is way too much. We do 8, save, reload. But then, oh my God, this sucks. I could do the navigation bars, have them have a font size of 3 vertical minimum. So that works, I guess. Or instead of doing that, I mean, if it's mobile, it would definitely be a whole different view. Like instead of the navigation buttons at the top, I would just have like a modal that pops up with the links. But like I can't do that right now. So let me see. What's our other options? I could just have it where the header becomes flex direction column and then they're on top of one another. So save that, reload, right, and have that be that, and then the height could increase to be like 100 pixels. And then let's see, the navigation bar, I could do 4 font to get that bigger, and then just move it to the top. And so that would end up being either the UL or the unordered list. So let me just give the nav bar a border, 5 pixels, white solid, and then let's see, do the same thing for the what do you call it? The nav bar UL. So save that, reload. All right, just let's do yellow. Reload that. All right, so all I have to do is just, oh, I know what to do. Get rid of the gap, unless there already is not a gap here. Or not. Okay, so no gap. And then maybe I could just do the white box, set it, or I could do margin from the bottom, like be 20 pixels and move to the top a little bit. So I could do even 50 pixels. Maybe that's too much. So save that, reload. Margin from the bottom, 80 pixels. So now why is it not changing? Oh, that's great. So if that doesn't work, then I could do padding um from the bottom of 40 pixels. This thing's not even working anymore. All right, if that doesn't work, then I can do position relative to the should be the fonts from the top. Get it 50 pixels. There we go. So let me just shrink that a bit down. Whoops. Reload. Shrink that even more. Save that. Reload. Even more. Maybe 15 would work better. So 15 pixels. Save that. Reload. Oh my god, I forgot. Oh, that wise probably wasn't working. After thing. All right, so that works. Okay. And now I'm just gonna get rid of the border here and the border here. Save that, reload, see what I'm getting. Okay. And then what I'll probably do now is give that a padding bottom 20 pixels. Or instead of doing that, I'll just give the header some padding. There we go. So that works out that way. I'm not sure if I want to have the logo be at the center. I could have the logo just have like a width of 100% and then text align center, have that be at the center. I don't know if that would be good. Maybe that would be good. I could do the same thing for, let's say, like the nav bar, have it with 100% and not necessarily text align center, but what would work is if I gave the nav bar justify content center. Actually, that's gonna not work for the nav bar. So probably what it should work for is the header. If I just do justify content center and then align item center and then just run that, reload. Okay. Um, yeah, no. How about a gap of 1 EM? Or not. Oops. Okay. All right, so let me get rid of the gap because that doesn't work. And instead of that, I'm just not sure why it's so weird. Let me work with the showcase real quick. So the showcase, I guess I'll give it the same width as I did the header, and that is like 1,500 pixels or something. Let's see. That was 125%. That's not even 1,000. All right, so that works that way. And then let's see. And then moving it, I could just I don't even see the so low. How to get rid of like scroll? Oh Jesus. Um, let's see. Instead of that, I could do okay, so showcase. I don't want to scroll. Why is there scrolling? It's so annoying. So for the content, I believe there's a padding, so I'll just zero that out and then play around with it. Okay. Um, so 20 pixels. There we go. And then from, but you know what I could do? Let me give it a border so I could see it 5 pixels white solid. Save that, reload. All right, and then what I could do from there is, um, if I know that that's inside the content container, like can I just do justify content center? So content container, I could do justify content center and then align item center. Save that, reload, and it's not doing anything, which is so annoying. How about if I give it a border, red? It's like rewriting the entire web page on a certain width. Okay, see, why isn't this working? Did I not give it a display of flex? Really? Is it because of the padding? of the content itself. Ah, it is. Okay. But still, it's like not in the center, which is so irritating. So what if I just do, I know that the content can have that type of padding, but let me see. What if I do padding 0, right? Still not at the center. So padding from the right, 50 pixels could work. Sure. But I don't really want that for the content. I more want that for the container. There we go. Beautiful. And then share your thoughts, and then that works out that way. I could probably have that be way bigger than it is now. So what I'll do is I'll do dot content h1, and not only h1, but actually I'll do that later, and I'll just change the font size to be 5 vertical minimum, see what that looks like. Oh, nope, that's really bad. Maybe like 20. Nope, 15. All right, share your thoughts. And then what could work is if I give the content some padding, 0 pixels top and bottom, 20 pixels left and right. There we go. But then that would mean I would have to, let's see, make the width of the content a little bit bigger. And I'm not even sure what, oh my God, width I had it at the beginning. I gave it a width of 50%, so I could go back down here and give it a width of maybe 60%. Oh, nope, that's really bad. Right. So that's a problem. So if I do that, okay, it still works, but then I would have to adjust the padding from the right, which is somewhere, okay, this over here, maybe do 70. So it's more towards the center like that. Beautiful. And then I'll do dot con, actually it's just input placeholder, because I need to increase the font of that as well. And then just do font size 5 vertical minimum and see what that gives me. That's probably too small. Or not, okay. And the same thing for the input, because if I text, it looks a little bit weird. So font size, um, 5 vertical minimum. All right, so now if I text, it's the same thing, which is pretty cool. All right, export thoughts, submit. So that works out that way. Then for the, I don't really want any padding at the bottom. How do I get rid of that so that there's not really that much space there? I can do the content container and give it a height of 40% maybe. Save that, reload. What did I just do? Oh no. Girly is confused. Oops, deleted that by accident. So let me save, reload. All right. I could do get rid of padding from the bottom. Where is the content container? Can I just do padding from the bottom to be like 0 pixels or something? Or like negative 50 pixels? Nope. Okay, that's great. How about, because if I change the height, it starts looking weird. Because 50% should be 50%. Okay, I feel like, okay, you know what? I could deal with that. I can deal with that. I could even do 40% at this point, and then just have the, what do you call it? The content itself have or you know what, I could just do min content. And then there we go, beautiful. And then I could just go to the content and then just do maybe padding top 20 pixels as well. Or probably 50 pixels at this point. Actually, that doesn't make things good. So if I do 0 pixels, I'm just trying to get rid of that. It doesn't even let me. So if I go to the showcase, do I have the showcase here? If I could just do gap and set that to 0, should it be closer? How would I get rid of that gap there? Oh, I think it has to do with the padding. So let me do the dot model and give that a border also. So dot model, border 5 pixels, white solid. All right, so then I could do that and then save that, reload. There we go. So that's the issue. This like gap here, don't even know why that's there. Um, let's see, is there a margin issue? Nope, that's not it. So it's not the model. So it has to be the showcase. And I wonder if I could just do gap like -2. Oh, you know what? Oh no, yeah. No, that doesn't work. That's weird. What if I just do the model and I give it position relative and then from the top 0? No. Should be position relative to the the red box, which is the content container. So let me put that in there. Nope, still not. From the top, 0 pixels, I could also do that. So I could do maybe -150 or not. -130. That works. Beautiful. And then have that working for me there. And then probably give the model a height of 100%. Or is it a width of 100%? Nope. Okay, great. All right, and then from there, definitely need to bring that down a bit. So that would be the white box, which is the content. So that would go from maybe 20 pixels downwards like that. So even more, I would even go as far as saying 50 pixels, and having that be that way, and then maybe 25 pixels. Oh, never mind. No, nope, nope, nope. 20 pixels here. And then the content container from the right, I don't even have that. Let's see, padding, right, 20 pixels. Nope. Oh my God. Um, -20 pixels. There we go. So maybe change it to 25. Save that, reload. All right, we're gonna leave it like that. And then the last thing would be, I'm trying to think. Oh, the header, back to that. So the header, I could simply just change the height to be, I don't know, 150 pixels. Have that be that way. And then the navigation bar, if it's somewhere over here, maybe from the top 5 pixels, or just actually from the top 0. There we go. And then just, I could do justify content center as long as it has a uh display flex. Perfect. And then even from the top, let me do 10 pixels so it goes a little lower like that. So thoughts, I think that works better. And then go back to the container and just maybe do 30 so that it moves more to the left, the white box. Okay, why did I do that? All right, but that's not even doing anything, so that's a problem. So let me see, negative 30 pixels, padding from the right negative 30 pixels, and that's not doing anything. And if I just get rid of this, it doesn't change anything. So that's not the thing I'm looking for. So I'm not sure. So it would be maybe margin right from here, 20 pixels, or 30, 20 pixels. Content, okay, no. From the right, or I could just do negative. What is going on? Negative 50, negative 80. All right, so it is from the right, 80 pixels. It's just, it was too small. So 70, and I think we're okay. And then the only weird thing is now it's this little thing over here, which honestly, I don't even care anymore. I'm just gonna put it all the way up, even if it's like overlapping, because like, what am I gonna do, you know? So maybe from the top, 50 pixels, right? Have that be that way. And then I can go and have the height of the content. If I do min content, that's probably gonna mess things up. Or not. All right, let me see though. All right, that works. I just need this to be way bigger though. Um, that's an issue. The height has to be 100%. What did I just do? You're kidding me. All this time and then this has been happening. Are you serious? You know what? Um, about 150%. Nope. Okay, that's great. Um, you know what? I know a fix totally. So I could do, let me get rid of this first of all. And then instead of that, let me just go to the body, or not to the body, but let me try to get that background color that there is for the header, or not for the header, for the container, for the showcase. That's what it was, that background. And then just have that target the body and put that in there. Save that, reload, and now it's gonna be full there. And then the iframe I could target inside the media query, and it's just a tag, so I could just call it iframe, and then probably change its width. It is a, actually, no, it's okay. I could do 150%. Oh, how weird. So maybe height. Okay, reload that. Either way, it's not, it's acting weird. And then, yeah. So I think I'm gonna leave it like that. Let me get rid of any borders that I have. As always, I think this is as good as it's gonna get for today. Um, reload. All right, and this is the final result for mobile responsive. I'm gonna go now. Bye.